Happy Feast of the North American Martyrs. We can also say this, Happy Feast of the Canadian Martyrs. In Canada, they call them the Canadian Martyrs. In America, we call them the North American Martyrs. And no doubt that we both claim them. At the North American College where I studied over in Rome, we had some Canadians, because the Canadians don't have a college in Rome, that would live with us. And this was always a day of great contention, because both countries have their own title for today's saints. I always like to make connection to sacred art. So the first window on your right is the window that is dedicated to the Jesuits here at the St. Martin campus. And you have St. Ignatius of Loyola, the great founder of the Jesuits there, who is standing. And the two saints that we celebrate today, along with all of their companions, were killed and martyred in North America and shed their blood striving to bring conversion to the life of the Native Americans. They were known by the Native Americans as the Black Robes because of their long black cassocks, and they really fearlessly preached the faith. St. Isaac Jogues, after being in America for several years and had been captured by the Indians, had been tortured by the Indians, he returned back to France, which is where he was originally from, to ask for more money to bring back to America to fund the mission that they had there as Jesuits. And when he arrived back in France, his face was so disfigured from the elements of living outside in tents in the winter and the cold and the snow, but also because of the disfiguration of his face due to the torture of the Indians, that when he arrived at the mother house of the Jesuits, they genuinely did not recognize him and did not believe that it was actually him. The hard work and labor that was put in to preach the gospel is something that, when we talk about trying to coordinate, religious education or CCD classes or having a confirmation retreat, or I think we have no idea when it comes to the planting of the faith here in our own country, of bringing the faith to indigenous people, no matter what time or season or era it was in the church, the work and the efforts that had to have been done to try to preach the gospel in foreign languages, and it always just bewilders my mind to think about what that would mean. So today we pray through these great martyrs that their fervor and zeal might be with us and upon our church. Our gospel passage talks about storing up treasures in heaven. In Jennings County, two of my communities, I had 3 parishes, but 2 of them were like 80 to 90% farmers. They're strong farming communities. And I used to always actually talk to them about this passage, because they were always building more silos and barns. And I would tell them that, Jesus has something to say about when you build another barn to store your corn or your grain. But it's actually very interesting if you actually look at this passage. But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong?" Thus will it be for the one who stores up treasures for himself, but is not rich in what matters to God. Notice how there's room here. Room here for what? Thus, it could read another way. That you are able to store up treasures here on earth if you are rich in what matters to God. Actually, having money within itself, as we know, is not a sin. The question is, do individuals who have possessions rest their livelihood, their worth, and themselves on their possessions, or are they rich on the things of heaven? Possessions, at the end of the day, are things that we're supposed to be detached from because we are attached to God. We believe that He is our maker, He is our creator, He is our God, He is our purpose, He is our center, and we're rich in what matters to God, which is what? Charity, mercy, justice, compassion. The struggle comes when people, as this individual clearly said, now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for so many years. Rest, eat, drink, and be merry. So because of my financial wealth, I am going to not think of others. I am going to rest, eat, drink, and be merry instead of pray, love, think of others, be compassionate, be generous, be merciful, be just. The great challenge is for us who have is to use according to God's grace and according to God's measure. It's good always to give away. It's good to be poor. It's good to be generous. But whether we have or we have not, the question is whether we are rich in what matters to God. That's what matters. So let's be sure that we are rich in what matters to God. We do that by coming to Mass and by receiving what is most important, which is God Himself, the greatest of our treasures, so we may live that treasure and bestow that treasure to others. Let us stand.